All right, we're live for the fourth time. I think I got a poll here coming, so let's see. Hopefully, it's showing up for you guys to be able to vote because I put four options. That was all that it allowed to put, but uh, I was gonna put other, in case people have another option. But I guess if you have another option, just type it in the chat. It is what was your favorite anime from the fall 2025 season? So for some reason, okay, there it is. Okay, it's showing up. All right. So yeah, we got the poll up. So for people coming in, they see the poll. You can vote for the poll. What was your favorite anime from the fall season? And one thing I keep wondering, every time I go live, I'm like, can I watch my own live? And I don't know if I can or not. I'm gonna check and see here. I don't think I can. That kind of sucks. Actually, maybe I can. Hold on. I can. All right. All right. Usually it takes a couple minutes for people to actually like get in here. I need to get to the point where like I'm gonna select a specific time and then tell post it on social media, whatever, and tell people. Wild Last Boss. Okay. Okay. Very Wild Last Boss was pretty good. Your Rook, what's up, man? So we're talking about the well, actually, we're kind of just talking about whatever. I put that poll up. Uh, but yeah, you like Isekai? Yeah, hell yeah, bro. Isekai's fire. Um, I know you're hyped for the spring season, man. Like the spring season, we were talking about it the other day. I remember you were mentioning about like how much like banger isekais we're getting in the spring. Like it's gonna go crazy. And we still I don't think we have a release date on Mushoku Tensei season 3 yet. But as soon as we do, a bunch of people are gonna be like, "Yo, Chris, what's up, bro?" I knew like I knew once I started you were gonna jump in. Uh I guess yeah, you voted for Common Right, didn't you, Chris? Because I think you were telling me about that. When you gave your top five the other day. That was one of them, right? Because I remember when I had Art in here, we were talking about it, and me and him didn't really watch it, just because I've never been the biggest fan of Common Writer, so I just didn't really get into it. But yeah, bro, Mushoku, hell yeah, that's your shit. Hell yeah, I might get into it eventually. I probably should have asked this a long time ago. Is it a standalone, or is it like a continuation of another? Because I know there's multiple Common Riders. Is it a continuation of that, or do I have to do I have to watch other ones, or can I just watch it by itself? I think it's standalone, dude. Power Rangers. I sort of liked Mighty Morphin when I was a kid, but other than that, not really. It comes across as super like cheesy and corny, in my opinion. But you know, if you like it, that's cool. Like anyone that likes it, that's fine. So yeah, we got 50-50 so far on those two. I'm surprised. Look at me personally, probably a tie between MHA and Spy Family, which is why I put I put them first. Uh, but yeah, so Kamen Rider is the live action Power Rangers before they came to America. Okay, yeah, I know I have seen some stuff about the live action, but I haven't actually watched them. Um, are the live actions good, or the anime's better? That's just its own thing. Okay, yeah, like I said, I might check it out eventually, but for now, I'm kind of just like, eh. Especially, Chris, you and I have been talking about the winter season. Literally starts this Saturday with all the bangers. So I'm not gonna jump in anything, 2 days before. That way I don't feel too overwhelmed already. Literally at the start of the season. I guess technically, Tuesday and Wednesday next week we technically have light days because like after So JJK's on the 8th, and then after that, it's like the next week. That's when all the crazy ones start. So like I guess Tuesday and Wednesday technically I could watch other stuff, but I'm not sure yet. I might take those days, when they come instead of planning it out ahead of time. So yeah, we got 3 viewers in here. Pretty solid start. Again, I don't know how long this is gonna be because like I was saying in the beginning, I kind of just been going live. I haven't really been planning it out. Like I'll think about it before I go live, and then I just convince myself go live, and then I do it. But I need to get to the point where like I'm putting it on like my stories, like Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and saying like, hey, like at this time I'm going live. That way more people know, and we would get more people in here. So I did tell a couple people. So hopefully over time they'll join in. It's like grown ninjas like me wanting to go Super Saiyan, take your grown behind to work and get a real job, common writer. Okay. I know that you saying that line. I know there's a lot of comedy in it. And so I probably would laugh. I probably would find it very funny. But yeah, I don't know. Eventually I might get into it. For the I think you guys had seen like in the Anime Association, when we were going over our top 10 animes of the year, I was like the only one that didn't watch it. So like they all loved it. And I was like, I haven't even seen it. So also Quadfather, he loves it too. So he was watching it every week. But it is a 2 core, right? I think it's continuing into the winter. So it's gonna be 2 cores. I'm pretty sure. Chris, you probably or you and Rook, you probably both know. Yeah. Okay. Um that's what I was wondering. Because I was like, is it 2 cores or not? But it is. Okay. 24 eps. Okay, cool, cool. And you said it was Leiden Films, which is the same studio as May I Ask? And so I was saying the other day, like I feel like they're completely different looking animes, despite being the same studio. It's kind of surprising because I love the way my May I Ask looked. I thought it looked beautiful, like the art style, the animation, everything. But with uh, with Common Rider, stuff I've seen here and there, I don't dislike it, but it didn't necessarily grab my attention like May I Ask did. So that's why I'm kind of like, maybe maybe I'll just wait until it's over, type of thing. Because like, it probably won't be a week, but we'll probably have a couple days between the end of the winter season and the beginning of the spring. Like, I'm sure there's gonna be like maybe 3 days that there's like no episodes. So maybe then I'll binge it because 24 episodes, that's like a day or two. Like I can get through that easy. The way I binge things, I can get through 24 episodes pretty fast because that's only 8 hours. Yeah, pretty much a day or two. So like, because like I think you guys know, all I do, all I do is watch anime and work. That's really it. Like I do a couple other things at home, but like uh I don't go anywhere other than work. Like work is the only place I go to. So like in my free time, I'm just watching anime. So like I can probably fit that in between the winter season and the spring season. So I'm trying to think of like how many animes have been announced for the spring. I know there's quite a few. It's just so hard to keep track of them all. I probably should have just like wrote them all down, but I keep forgetting to write it down. And also, see this is the thing. I try to take one season at a time. I try to not look too far ahead. Like, yeah, I know like the summer, Bleach and Black Clover are coming back, but I'm trying to just go like, all right, the winter season we got JJK, Fear and Fire Force, MHA, Hell's Paradise. So I'm kind of just trying to take it like slowly. That way, I don't feel like there's just too much like information I'm like cramming into my head. Uh, so yeah, I'll probably at some point write down the spring seasons or spring season animes and like which ones are coming. So one anime One anime from the spring I keep forgetting about is Wistoria season 2, and I don't know how I keep forgetting about it because I'm very excited for season 2, but I keep forgetting it's coming, and I think that's just because it's not necessarily being put out there as much as some of these other animes, so I'm just sort of not like it'll cross my mind, but I don't think about it, which I hate because I love it. Yeah, it's in April. Yeah. So I keep forgetting, like, bro, I keep forgetting, like, oh yeah, Wistoria season 2, April 2026, and the trailer looks incredible. So that's why I'm super excited for it. And Kaio Tim, he's super excited for it. He loves Wistoria. Um, but I keep forgetting because there's so many animes. And that's why I've told you, Chris, I've told just about anybody that that 2026 is going to be the greatest year in anime history. The amount of returning animes is insane. There's so many. Like this season alone, we have like 10. Like that right there. I think that the winter 2026 season up to this point, every time I say this, every time I say it's going to be the greatest in history, I say up to this point. Obviously, I'm not saying like nothing's ever going to top it because I'm sure as we keep going, like 2027, 2028, 2029, those years might surpass 2026, to be honest. But my point was going to be that like the winter of 2026 is probably going to be the best season. I think sometimes when you look at a year, it can sort of progress. Like it'll get from like, we have some bangers in here and then it keeps getting better and better. This year, I almost feel like they put everything that's going to be like crazy good. And I say that not meaning that, there won't be crazy good stuff later in the year, but it seems like they put it all at the beginning. Like winter 2026, we have all these returning animes. And like I was saying earlier, like all the isekais in the spring, we have all those too. We have Bleach and Black Clover in the summer, and Elusive Samurai. I low key keep forgetting about that too. Um, Fall season, I forget most of them. Somebody reminded me today that Blue Box season 2 is coming back for the fall. So I'm super excited for that because I really like season 1. If you guys can think of any other ones that are coming that I completely forgot, let me know. And at some point, again, I need to write them down. I just keep forgetting to do it. I've sort of been taking a slight break from focusing all of my attention on anime and the content and stuff like that. You like PNG slide? Nah, I dropped it after episode 3. So season 3, episode 3. I haven't seen the last like 10 or whatever. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I One Punch Man. See, I was never the biggest fan of One Punch Man to begin with. So that's why like season 3 came and like not just everyone's opinions, but of course my own. I started watching and I was just like, I'm not really. I wasn't hyped for it, so I was just like, I'm not gonna spend my time watching it. If I'm not excited for it, why would I watch it? You know. And that's not to say that I go absolutely crazy. Uh, with every single anime that drops, like there's a bunch that I'm just like, this is like average animes, but I'll still watch it. Like I'll still yo. So we're talking about pretty much just anything. We're just talking about any animes for 2026. We were just talking about One Punch Man season 3 because they just brought that up. So Chris said you should check out the Flashy Flash episode though. What episode is that in season 3? Because I don't know what's in what episodes. Probably the best episode in the season. Okay, yeah. Let me know what episode it is, bro. Because I don't know. Um, but yeah. So basically, I was just saying like I wasn't the biggest fan of One Punch Man to begin with. That's why I was just like, whatever. I just watched the newest Kaguya-sama OVA. Okay, so about that, I couldn't. So I saw they came out yesterday, the 2 episodes. I could not remember before then where I left off, and I did watch all 3 seasons that are out, but I hadn't seen the last movie, which they broke up into, like, 4 episodes or whatever. So I need to watch those before I watch the 2. Also, Watanabe has, like, 5 episodes of OVAs that seem to came out. Watanabe. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I watched those yesterday too. Me and, Brits for President Chris, we both watched it, talked about it a little bit. I loved it. I thought those 5 episodes were great. Now, I loved the first 12 to begin with, so maybe I'm a little biased because I know it's not for everybody. It's one of those animes that, like, only maybe select few people will like. But, like, the 5 episodes that came out yesterday were actually really good. Like, how in depth they went with each character, especially Rinako and Kaho, like, the interactions they had with what they had, like, a photo shoot or whatever, right? Kaho was secretly a childhood friend the whole time, yeah. So, like, that got revealed with the photo, right? Like, it was a photo of the 2 of them when they were, like, in middle school or whatever, and then Rinako remembered her after well, so that's the thing, like, Rinako didn't remember her at first. Yeah, that did explain a lot. Like, she didn't know she didn't recognize her for the longest time, and then all of a sudden elementary school, okay, got you, not middle school, elementary school. But yeah, so, like, she didn't recognize her, and then she sees the picture and she's like, "Wait a second, like, that's Kaho." So she was like, "Oh, wait, like, I actually do remember you now." So, like, they had they went on dates or whatever, and honestly, I like the way I don't think it's the end of the story, right? Because they left us on a cliffhanger with Satsuki and, like, she left a message. She was like, "Hey, like, why don't you go out with me too?" Which I think at this point it's just gonna be, all of them dating. It's not even gonna be just, like, some of them. Should be episode 8, I think. Okay, season 3, episode 8. Well, she had a surname change, so can't blame her. Yeah, I forgot. So she did mention that. She did mention that she changed her last name. Um, yeah, those 5 episodes was good. Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, how in-depth they went with the characters and, like, all 5 of them, I feel like. I mean, maybe not so much, Satuki this time around because like, we got more of her in the first 12 episodes. But, like, because I feel like each of them have had an arc with Reneko, if that makes sense. Like, first it was Mai, then it was Satuki, and then Ajise, now Kaho, right? So, like, each of them kinda took a turn, they each had their own time, with her, but like I said, I feel like it's gonna end with all of them dating. Like, if you haven't seen someone for 6 years and they got a different name, you wouldn't necessarily think they are the same person. Obviously, Kaho recognized her at first sight, yeah, because she looks the same Reneko practically looks the same. Like, she didn't really change the way she looked at all. I mean, she did I guess she, sort of went more towards, like, the pretty girl sorta look instead of, like, a nerdy girl type of thing. But, like, for the most part, one of the distinctions, obviously, with their character designs is their hair color. It's kinda hard unless they dye their hair, it's kinda hard to not know who they are because of their hair color, which is something I really like. It's very unique and, like, makes each character stand out on their own. So that's something I really like. But, okay, so on this, we got the poll here, we got 5 votes. Wild Last Boss Appeared is actually in the lead. I'm kinda surprised at that. It was really good. I maybe I was thinking MHA might be in the lead. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting, Wild Last Boss. The thing is, she Reneko was the outgoing pretty girl in elementary school, she only got traumatized in middle school. Yeah, so middle school was, like, this whole thing of her, uh it was like it was like social anxiety, stuff like that, right? So when Kaho's impression, she didn't change. Mm, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so she didn't see the version of her in middle school to where she was like completely different. Okay, yeah, that actually makes sense. So that's another reason that Kaho was immediately like, "Yeah, I know you." Which you think she would have pointed it out, when they I guess reunited in high school. You think that Kaho would have said something, you know? I don't know if this anime will even have a second season at this point. Dang, are we almost caught up to the source material? 'Cause I don't read any source material, so I never know how much material they covered in a season or something like that. So, if we're almost caught up, then yeah. But dang, like, I really enjoy the story. It's honestly really good. I definitely feel like the harem part of it is going to throw a lot of people off and make them not wanna watch it, but, Kaho didn't point it out, she just talked to Reneko naturally as they knew each other, which they did. Yeah, so that's what I was saying, like, you think she would have pointed it out that she actually knew her and like recognized her, but she didn't. And so, okay, this was another thing about Kaho that I really liked about how in depth her character was the fact that she also has social anxiety and that she puts on like a facade. So basically, like when with her contacts, when she puts her contacts in, I forget the term she used to describe like how she went out of her way to basically act more social and be like more extroverted. Um, if you remember, let me know in the chat because I completely forget what the term she used. It was like it had something to do with extrovert in it. But anyway, you think that, with her being like that, that they damn, what was the point I was gonna make with that? I have too many thoughts in my head right now. But basically I was saying that like she also has a side of her to where like she acts that way. Even though I did not vote for Wild Ass Boss's peak, man. Yes. Yeah, like like out of these four, right? I wouldn't vote for Wild Ass Boss, but it was still really good. And that's the thing, like, that's why I struggle with and hate, like, ranking because, like, I like them all and I don't know how to rank them. So I just BS a ranking. Like, in the top 10 with the Anime Association, I was like, "I don't know how to rank this." I just put them in an order. The source material is at volume 8 or 9. I think Kaho is volume 4. It's one character arc per volume, so they certainly have the content to do season 2. The issue is always how well it sells. The issue is Yuri anime typically don't sell well. It's still kind of a minor genre at this point. Hmm. I thought it would have been more popular because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the majority of anime fans are guys. So, like, I feel like most guys would like Yuri. I would think. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, so far, no Yuri anime has season 2. Really? None at all? It's like a curse. Damn. There's none at all that have a season 2? That kinda sucks. Hmm. You would be surprised. Huh. I am surprised. Hmm. That's interesting. I never knew that. I guess I never really thought about it. If I watched a season of a Yuri anime, I never thought of, like, how many seasons it was. I just watched it. Like, isekai slop getting anime left and right, but Yuri anime, nah. That is true. They keep repeating the same stories over and over again. Like, the one that just started, yesterday, Jack of All Trades, Party of None. There's slight differences, but for the most part, it is this exact same story being told. MC gets kicked out of his party, then he eventually forms a new one. Maybe this one isn't as much of like he gets thrown into a new party right away. Like maybe there's a slower burn to it, which we are seeing with him becoming a teacher, right? Because the other girl recruited him and was like, "Why don't you be a teacher?" So like it's a different approach, but at the same time, I feel like it's going to be the same end result. He's going to be in another party. Like it's going to be the same story. Maybe an Isekai Yuri anime would have a shot. Oh, that would be cool. Isekai Yuri? Has that never been done before? I won't be able to think of any off the top of my head. Isekai Yuri. What about shoot, what is it called? Oh man, I'm gonna forget the name of it, but I feel like there is an Isekai Yuri. And I just watched it within the last couple of months. Dude, I'm not gonna be able to think of the name. If you know then if maybe you can think of one, let me know because dude, I could have sworn there was one. But now I can't think of what it is. And so I watched it like 2, 3 months, probably like in the October, November, somewhere around there, I feel like. Scooped Up by S Rank Party Part 2. That was okay, so Scooped Up, that one was during the summer, correct? Um, that one was pretty, again, like pretty stereotypical. There wasn't really anything that made it different from other ones. And that's the thing, like, even though I think that, I still watch them and I still enjoy them. Like there's, so many what they call, like, slop that I will watch. That's what Jack feels like. "Oh, I got you, I got you. Yeah, yeah, yeah." Yeah, it does sorta feel like that, and that's what I was saying, like, the stories are all the same. Hi, Reese. We're just talking about, like, isekais and, basically how they're all the same. Well, not necessarily isekais are all the same, but, like, we're getting a bunch of animes that, like, it's a story of, like, the character gets thrown out of a party and then he forms a new party sort of thing, like, it's one of those type of things that we're getting more and more. So, like, we'll keep getting adaptations of that, but we don't get we don't get a second season of, like, Yuri animes. So, because we were talking about a Yuri anime earlier. Um, but yeah, Rook, I see what you mean now. I didn't realize you were talking about That's How Jack Feels, like, part 2 of that. Um, yeah. So Reese, I don't think I think MHA might have been the older one you watched. Have you seen Spy Family? If you haven't, I feel like you would really like it. Spy Family is hilarious, and I feel like you would definitely like Spy Family. Because I was gonna say you might not be able to necessarily have a vote for the poll, because I know you're super busy. Sounds fire. Yeah, you would love Spy Family. Oh, maybe you just voted for it? Oh, Isaac voted for it? Yeah, Spy Family is crazy good. It was my number 1 anime. Like, the comedy in it and everything, it's just so good. Like, I can't like, I was telling somebody. Oh, you did watch a little bit of it. Okay. Yeah. So I was telling somebody that even the episodes that are, like, super slow and there's nothing going on that focuses on the main plot, I still enjoy them because the comedy in Spy Family is so good that it makes you laugh every episode. Like, I was laughing every episode. It's that good. It was like a hit even before the anime was out. That's just how good it is. Oh, the Spy Family manga. Yeah. So that's the thing. I was telling another person. I've talked to quite a lot of people about Spy Family. I was talking to somebody else about it, and I was saying I feel like at some point we could get like at least 6 seasons of Spy Family. Like, it's one of those animes that, like, even if you have filler episodes, you could just still come up with stuff because it's so funny, and like it's a type of comedy that you can tell with or without the main plot. Like, I know there was a good amount of episodes that didn't necessarily focus on the plot, but it was still enjoyable for me. And I know season 2 is when it started to get more serious. Like, we got the whole Your arc on the cruise. Season 3, we got Lloyd's backstory. So, like, as it goes, we're getting more and more serious stuff happening, like the bus hijacking in season 3. But there's still, because some episodes are like in parts, like they'll break it up into parts, and so like some of the parts um are just filler stuff. I mean, maybe not necessarily filler, by definition, because it's like it might be in the manga, but it's not focusing on the main plot. So anime is the thing that people need to see profit in it to do so. So if the source material doesn't sell well, it won't continue. Okay, that makes sense. That is why Kaguya-sama stopped seasonal anime since its manga ended. So the manga. Okay, so you're saying the manga stopped getting sales? I thought it was very popular. Is it not? Because I no, I did see yesterday today, we are getting an anime original ending. And I know the mangaka is gonna work on it. So technically, so I guess you would define that as anime canon, correct? Because it won't be canon to the manga, but it's still canon because the same author is coming up with the script for it, right? So it would be the same thing. The manga ended, not stop getting sales. Oh, the manga ended. Okay, so I don't think I saw the reason. What is the reasoning why they want to do a different ending? Did a lot of people not like the ending of the manga, so they decided to change it? Because I know with MHA, the mangaka stopped doing Kanga-sama because he was doing Oh, it's the same author as Oshinoko. Shit, I did not know that. That's another one, season 3 coming up, I'm super excited for. The Kaguya-sama ending was not well appreciated. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's sort of like MHA, like how a lot of people hated the ending, and then the mangaka came out with the epilogue, like chapter 431, which we're getting the OVA for in May. Though to put it in details, okay, is it like a long explanation of like why why they're doing a different ending? The Kaguya-sama ending isn't bad. It's like they drag certain arcs too long, too sloogy. Never heard of the word sloogy, but yeah, drag certain arcs too long. Okay, so a lot of people didn't appreciate that. Got you. Then the author just ended the manga in 10 chapters. So it was a rushed ending pretty much. Like an abrupt ending. They just all of a sudden was like, "Yeah, that's it." I'm assuming that's what happened. That kinda sucks though, because Love is War is pretty funny. People were like, "You didn't explain clearly certain stuff." Okay, I could definitely see how a lot of people would, like, be like, "What the fuck?" You know? Like, they'd be like, "Huh?" That makes sense, okay. Now, what I did see, and so if anyone is not caught up on Love is War and you don't wanna hear spoilers, you plug your ears for about 20 seconds. But I did see the scene of the 2 of them, you know, they did the deed in bed, and now they're adults or whatever. That so I saw that, um, so I know, like, that's something that's towards the end. Oshinoko also got complained the ending too, so people don't like this author now. Yeah, I had seen stuff about, Oshinoko with, excuse me, Ruby and Aqua. I seen stuff about that. I don't know full details, and I don't know if that'll be in season 3 or not. But yeah, I have seen stuff about that. It is one of those, like, weird things, like, did you really have to put that in there, you know? But I don't know. So, yeah, that's very interesting that the same mangaka wrote those 2. I did not know that. I kinda get similar vibes from them, to be honest. I mean, I could kind of understand that. So but, yeah, back to the poll, we have, 6 votes. It's actually a two-way tie. So we have tie for first place, Spy Family Wild as Balls, tie for second place, MHA and Kamen Rider. So good stuff. Hopefully, maybe we'll get some more votes eventually. Um, so what else? So this was pretty much just a chill chat. We were just gonna talk about whatever. So like, if you guys have any other topics you want to discuss, just let me know in the chat. Um, this might be what's today? Thursday. This will probably be my last live before do maybe starting to do it weekly. I was thinking Tuesdays might be the day of the week I do it weekly, to where we're basically gonna review episodes from the starting with the winter season. I'm hoping to do it like regularly after that. Um, but yeah, the winter season is gonna be the first one we do, and I'm hoping to make it like every week. Hopefully, I may or may not have guests with me. It might just be me, reviewing them. So the Oshinoko ending is simply not a good ending. Not saying bad writing, it's a tragic ending, the sense of bad ending. So people disliked it. I personally think it made sense given the tone. Okay, there is another anime or manga that I remember. It might be Darling in the Franxx. That might be the one I'm thinking of, where a lot of people hated it because of the ending, and it wasn't a happy ending. But in my opinion, I didn't mind it because it did made sense for the tone, like you said. So that's the thing. I appreciate when the author will make it an ending that makes sense and not necessarily like, oh, here's a happy ending sort of thing. Darling in the Franxx is anime original. Okay. But yeah, so it's the same thing though. Like with the ending, a lot of people hated it, but I didn't mind it. And I think that's just one example. I had another one in my mind, but I cannot think of it off the top of my head. So it did make sense. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I would prefer an ending that makes sense over something that's, just a happy ending. Like if it doesn't make sense, maybe I was thinking of it had to have been from this past year. Maybe I was thinking of Takapi's Original Sin. Maybe, or may I think I kind of didn't like that ending. I'm trying to think of what the other one was, where like a lot of people didn't like it, but I did because I was like, it makes sense that way. Like it wouldn't make sense any other way for it to end. If it comes to me, I'll say what it is, but I can't think of it right now. But yeah, I was trying to remember another, like, I have so many thoughts in my head, bro. I keep forgetting stuff. Mm, yeah, dude, I completely forget what I was gonna say. But yeah, so for the winter season, I'm super excited. And what is it? Saturday. So Saturday is gonna be Fate Strange Fake and Sentenced to Be a Hero. Those are the two big ones starting this Saturday. I know next Saturday, we got Trigon Stargaze, and I think there's one other anime on Saturdays that's gonna be really good. So Sundays is gonna be Hell's Paradise, and a lot one that is going under a lot of people's radar. Not a lot of people are gonna watch it. You and I are polar opposites. It's a rom-com and it looks gorgeous. Like I love the art style and the animation from what I've seen in the trailer. So that's gonna be Sundays. Mondays is mainly just MHA Vigilante season 2. Tuesdays, technically there is that anime, the Darwin incident about like the monkey or whatever. I'm kind of sort of looking forward to it. Like from what I've been told, it's a very psychological anime, and I love psychological animes. So like I'm excited for that. I doubt I'll be reacting to it. Um, that's hence why I'm saying like Tuesdays I'll probably go live every week to discuss what I watched over the past week because if I'm not reacting to something, I might need some sort of content to make, and if I go live, that's something to do. So Wednesdays, we were just talking about it, Oshinoko. Thursdays, JJK. Fridays, Fear and Fire Force. Fridays is gonna be my number one day of the week. Uh, I love Freerun, I love Fire Force, and I'm super excited to see the end of Fire Force and how exactly it ties into um, Soul Eater, because obviously Soul Eater is very popular, and I think that with there being a connection there, it's going to draw a lot of people in. Maybe some people that have dropped Fire Force because of fan service and whatever, they might change their mind about it if they're big fans of Soul Eater. Yeah, you too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the fact that like the fact that two separate animes or mangas, however you want to look at it, these two different stories are being put together is really freaking cool. And I know we're getting a Soul Eater remake at some point. I don't think they said when. Uh, but yeah, connecting those two things is really cool. Like I love Fire Force. I did so. My thing was Soul Eater, and Reese. I remember telling you about this at work. At one point, I was like, I didn't like the way it looked, but the story's great. So that's what I'm saying. Like this, the two stories coming together is amazing. I love that. Have you checked out the movie? Not yet. So that and you gave me Baka and Test. I have those on my list, and I'm gonna get to them. I promise I'm gonna get to them. I've just been doing other than anime. I've been doing other things this week. So I just hope the ending is better than Soul Eaters. Yeah, I think it will be because it connects because it goes from one to the other. Um, and like I said, with them doing a remake, I think they're gonna make up for Soul Eater's original ending in the anime. Because I agree, the ending was horrible. It made no sense. You do remember that? Okay. Yeah, because I remember you were like, "What? Like, how the like," you were like, "How do you not like how it looks?" Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so because like I said, the story's great. So, like, Fire Force is one of my personal favorites. A lot of people just like, "Oh, the fan service, whatever." I ignore that. It's I've said this so many times, the way the fan service is delivered is a very comedic approach. Yeah, you were goofy art styles. I forget. So have you seen Gachiakuta? I forget if we talked about that because that it's not necessarily goofy, but it has like a very unique and different art style. So have you seen Gachiakuta? I forget if you told me you have or not. No. Okay, it just finished, so you can binge it. I think you should definitely watch it. It was one of the best animes to come out last year. How you spell that? Let me type it here in the. There you go. Well, fan service is a very common thing in Japanese anime. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like for me personally, how I look at it is there's two different approaches. One is the comedic approach, which I always find funny and I usually laugh at. The other approach is when they make it like super sexual on purpose for fan service. That to me throws me off because I'm like I'm not like it's all about the vibe, like how it presents itself. If it's a vibe that's just straight to like, you know, be for people that are horny all the time or something, right? Then I don't want anything to do with it. But if it's thrown in there to make me laugh, then I enjoy it because I'm laughing at it. It's funny. So like some people even make that their own genre. Really? They make fan service their own genre. Yet I see some people in the West just freaks out for that. Hmm. I hate them creepy long tongues of the creepy freaky people. Yeah, stuff like that is just like, ew. Like I'd rather not look at that, you know? But like I said, yeah, I knew what you meant, yeah. But like I said, with the whole comedic approach to it, I enjoy it. It's funny. Preferences is totally fine. Just don't make it sound like it shouldn't exist. Just don't watch it. Yeah, I agree. Like people who go out of their way to act like how they feel about fan service is the only way, is pretty disrespectful to other people because it might not necessarily bother them the way it bothers you. So like, don't try to affect your feelings onto others. Like, don't try to project your feelings onto others. Um, makes you uncomfortable. Yeah, me too. Like if they make it like, especially if the character's personality is weird too, then it's just like ew. Japanese anime culture simply has some odd clings. I agree. I feel like as an anime fan, as someone who loves anime, I can also understand people that don't like it because it can be very strange. It can get to the point to where I even say, "What? Like, why am I watching this?" You know, like there's so many times, and it's always those scenes. So like there'll be a scene like a hot spring or whatever, like some weird scene, and that's when your parents walk in. You know, they haven't seen or heard any other scene in the show, and as soon as that pops up, they come in the room, and then you're like, oh, you start like panicking. You're like, that's not what the show's about. Yeah, you've been there too. So like, I've had that happen a couple of times. SAO. Yep. Yeah, that's another example of that stuff being in there. Which I discussed the other day. The purpose of it, is to make you feel uncomfortable and to see the person stopped, and they're always stopped. It's never a thing of like they actually go through with it. So, I mean, there's that feat scene in episode 1 of Roshidere. You have to remind me, Roshidere. Oh, you're talking about Alia, right? Is that the one you're talking about? Like when he is like putting was it is he putting the socks on her on her feet, or is she just like, because I remember she's like up on the desk, right? And she's like she has her legs out or something like that. I was like, what the flip going on? Yeah. That's what's saying. Like it's very off putting. It makes you uncomfortable. But that's why I tell people like, with that one, with Fire Force, there's so many other aspects to them that make me enjoy them and want to keep watching, even if there is scenes like that. I can look past those scenes. Like Don did on another example. Episode 1. And I saw a bunch of people arguing in the comments about this today. Yeah, Ali-san. Okay. I'm glad I I'm glad I put two and two together, the Roshi Dere. Well, yeah, so with Don did on episode 1, like obviously we all know, so it's a whole thing that people were like arguing about, and somebody was saying like, "I'm sorry, I couldn't keep watching it," and there were people like actually like getting mad at her for not wanting to keep watching it. I'm the type of person that I kept watching it, but I'm not gonna get mad at you if you dropped it because I understand why you dropped it. I'm just the type of person that can look past it. Um, I understand the purpose of it. I'm not condoning it, and I'm not saying it's right, but I understand why they have it. And so that's why I'm normally just like, it's whatever, and I keep watching. So, real, I just keep going. You got to give the anime a chance to grow and show you the world. Exactly. Like that being there isn't what the whole show is about most of the time. If you take a look at Goblin Slayer, episode 1, we all know that scene with the girl in the cave with the goblins. But the entire show doesn't focus on that. It's just in the first episode. And then the MC comes in and kills all the goblins and saves her. So like a lot of people, if they automatically just drop it because of that, they're gonna miss out on all the other crazy things about it. But then it is already weird for a girl to get a boy put on socks for her. Yeah, it was one of those like not necessarily uncomfortable scenes, but it was like a what the heck type of scene. Like that to me was a comedic approach. It made me laugh because of the way that they both reacted. Actually, I was gonna say just him, but actually the way Alia reacted too. She was like embarrassed, so it was kind of funny. It's clearly their way of flirting. Yeah, it's like a form of flirting. It's not even like anything like, he's taking advantage of her or some shit like that, right? Uh, so it's like stuff like that. I can just look past it. I can just ignore that and keep watching. And like Reese was saying, like you're gonna miss a chance for the anime to show you the world building, the character developments. Like you're gonna miss out on so much just because of one scene. And does it need to? Okay, so this is the question: does it need to be in the anime or manga? No, it doesn't need to be, but it's put there for a reason. It's to make you hate those characters. So like anytime in Don the aliens come back, you're gonna hate them. Even the beginning of season 2 with all those weird old men and Momo in the hot spring scene, you're gonna hate those people. And so that's the purpose, like to make you hate them. Because, we need for every hero, you need a villain. So like if we're gonna get these good guys, we need bad guys in the story too. Similar cases, I think it's like Mushoku Tensei Rudius does a lot of weird stuff. Yes, another perfect example of why, like one that I understand why people might drop it. Again, I look past it. Do I think it's stupid? Yes. Yeah, was that necessarily? Well, not really. The author wanted to include that. Exactly. It's not necessary, but the author just wanted to throw it in there. So, like I was saying, it's very weird. It's very uncomfortable, and to me, that's why in the beginning I feel like if the emotions you feel from seeing that makes you hate Rudius, I condone that 100%. Even I might have hated Rudius at the beginning of the story, but as he gets older and as he learns more and he's able to handle all these feelings and emotions more and more, he develops and he becomes a better person for it, especially with the whole death of Paul in season 2. Though I find it funny, some people complain they dropped Mashoku Tensei the moment when Paul got caught cheating with the maid. See, to me, that would just be another reason to hate the character, not necessarily hate the show. Like, you're supposed to hate Paul because he cheated on his wife. He did a despicable, evil thing. So, like, it makes sense to hate him. I'm like, really cheating? That's like a so common thing in real life. Well, I mean, uh, I don't think necessarily if there's stuff that is normal, like it not necessarily normal. If there's stuff that happens in real life, we should make it normal, if that makes sense. Uh Obviously with like crimes and stuff, like you can show them, but it depends on how extreme you show because some people can only handle so much. So like some people might not like it if they show too much. And that's why I always say like I understand why people drop the shows because everyone has their own like line, that it crosses. And if it goes too far over the line, they're like, "Yeah, I can't handle this anymore," so they drop it. I completely understand that. I guess for me, I guess I just don't necessarily think about it. I don't let it bother me. Unless, like I said, it's a super sexual type of fan service. If it's just like if it's there for a purpose that makes sense, or if it's a comedic way that they go about it, then I don't mind it. I'm just like, it is what it is. For Mushoku Tensei, I think the point is certainly you should feel disgusted when seeing those stuff. Exactly. Like you should feel disgusted about Paul cheating on his wife. You should feel disgusted about Rudius when he's like 4 or 5 years old, whatever he is, with freaking underwear on his head and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's gross. And I think that also goes into how he was as a person before that in his past life. If you look at it that way, it makes sense because of the I forget what episode it was, but they showed like his backstory and they showed him how he was basically a loner in like, you know, not to say again, I don't condone it, but I understand it. It's one of those things that like it makes sense why that person is the way they are. They need help, right? Like that's the biggest that's the best way to put it is like they just need help, you know, whether that's therapy, whatever it is, they need help because of what they went through. And that's what makes the development written so well because of the struggles they went through in the past. He was bullied to the point he couldn't leave his room. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like he was a loner because he was always in his room. I think like even his parents would try to talk to him and he just wouldn't talk to them. So but to add to that, so that's another thing that where someone that old, he's like what, like almost 40, is now inside of a young boy's body. That's what makes it weird as well. Like I can understand why people think that way. Especially the things he does with like Eris and Sylphie and what's the third one? Roxy. The way that he, does things with them is kind of weird, right? Because, technically he's much older. Yo, what's up, Tim? Tim, we're actually talking about Mushoku Tensei if you want to chime in. Basically talking about like how well, like stuff like you and I have said before, to where basically we understand why people might not necessarily want to keep watching it, but we also understand the purpose of it and why it's there. We see the development that Rudy's has from being a pervert to, being a good person in the end. So if you have extra stuff you want to add, feel free because I know that you're more adequate with everything Mushoku Tensei than I am. So a shut in for that long can easily have issues with where the line of these stuff. It's not right. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's one of those things I understand why. I think it's funny for Sylvie, Rudy thought that she was a guy twice. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I do remember that because I remember the one scene in season one where basically they needed to take a bath, and he was like, "Come on, just like take off your clothes," and she didn't want to because she's a girl, but he didn't know that. So, in fact, it seems like you covering it for the most part. It's not in defense of the character's actions. Yeah. So like you and me and everyone that keeps watching it, we're not defending the way Rudy's was. We understand why the way he was because of his past life, and then we see him develop as the show goes. So yeah, it's never about, I would say, for most of us, it's never about defending the character because we don't agree with what they're doing. Obviously, what they're doing is wrong, but we understand why, and then whether or not we see development from that character, depends on how the author wrote them. There's certain characters, like I was mentioning in the parts earlier, that obviously they're just doing that stuff because they're evil. They're not going to develop as the story progresses, type of thing. And though, and then there was the dual wielding thing at the end of season two that certainly caused discourse. Yep, I forgot the page, but there's a psychiatrist that goes over the story and he explains Rudy very good. Okay, I might have to check that out. I did not know someone had actually like went into like full detail of that. So, but like it's clearly he was meant to do that to mirror his father, who he just lost. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like it sort of got to the point where, with Paul's death, Rudy respected him a lot more, and because of everything that he had done in season one, he forgave him for that. So, in a way, Rudy is sort of like you said, mirrors what he did. So like now we see him. He's with Sophie. He's with Roxy. I'm sure it's gonna get to the point where he's with Eris as well. So it makes like I'm saying, the way the characters are written makes sense. You don't have to agree with them, but they make sense for what has happened in the story up to this point and how it progresses from there. So yeah, psychiatrist is someone on YouTube who reacts to anime. All of his MT reactions are like 1 hour long minimum, and he analyzes Rudy's mental very deep. Okay, what's the name? Because I might check him out. He thinks it makes total sense for his character. Okay, let me know the name because I'll probably check him out at some point. I think that's pretty cool how you can get people that are like experts in fields and then they watch an anime and kind of like analyze it. I think that's pretty cool. It's not so much mirroring, but accepts the world he lives in. Okay, yeah, yeah, I can understand that way too. I think what I was thinking of was more so that the way that he was, we sort of slowly see Rudy has also become that, if that makes sense. It's not, it's not one to one. Like he's not the exact same, but there's some similarities there as he gets older. Would you agree with that, Tim? That it's not necessarily he mirrors him, but like he's slowly but surely kind of becoming like him in a way? Because I think to me that makes sense. But like I've said, you are more adequate with it than I am. So 100%. That was the big point of him looking like his dad when he saved his sister. Yep. Um, that's another thing I think as season two progressed, we saw a lot of really good storytelling. Like the way that Rudius grew as a character, and all the other things that happened was written really well. His channel is called Psyculturist. Let me write that down so I don't forget it. Psyculturist. How do you spell that? Okay, bet I will check it out. Okay, yeah, I'll text you that. Where are you at? Psyculturist. By the way, Tim, one of the things I mentioned earlier was that we don't know the release date yet. Like we know it's 2026. Oh, you just found it. Okay, cool, cool. But yeah, I was saying like so we don't know the exact release date of Mushoku Tensei season 3, but we know it's 2026. Rudy's reconciliation with his sister is really good. Title My Big Brother, you thought it was saying Rudy. No, he was saying his big brother in his past life. So like a parallel there. Okay. They think spring. That wouldn't make sense with because of ReZero and Slime. I think parts where Rudy reflects his past lives wrong is what makes it good. Exactly. Like I would say that's what Mushoku Tensei is strongest at is Rudy's development as a character. You're about to read it? Okay. Yeah. Um so yeah, that was one and I also wanted to bring up cuz since you're in here Tim, Witch Hat Atelier cuz that's coming in the spring. I know you've read the manga. Um so like that's what I'm looking forward to. I actually just want to raffle that is one of the side story novels. Oh shit, that's pretty cool. That it's funny you say that because I actually just want to give away last week, and I was given. I know I don't read mangas. I was given a Kagurabachi manga. I was given Luffy's Devil Fruit is like a soft ball thing, and a Weakened All Might Funko Pop. So I was given those in the giveaway. People saying his past life doesn't matter, but in context, his past life is what matters most. I agree with that. Unlike a lot of isekai where the MC's past life actually doesn't matter. Exactly. And I forget who I was talking to about this a couple months ago, but most of the animes that are isekais don't show us stuff from the past, from the character's past life. Like it's not important at all. So that's why like Mushoku Tensei's take on it and to show all the flashback scenes of him in his past life, to show him in his real form when he's talking to was it the man god or whatever it is. Uh that's what makes it better, I would say, like than other isekais. Um that's gas. Yeah, his life matters a lot. It was you. What do you mean it was you? Like slime, does his past life really matter? No, no, they never like because that's the thing. Another thing about those type of characters, they're usually like salary men, and for the most part, they never need those skills in a fantasy world. Like maybe you could, you know, use them in a sense. No, just know he's a generic Japanese dude. Is that Big Knox not the little? Big Knox not the little. What do you mean, Rook? Me and you were talking about the Isekai life mattering on the association. Oh, got you. Okay. I remember it was somebody, yeah. So it was me and you. So yeah, we were talking about how in the past life, it's normally never brought up when they're in this new world. But Mushoku Tensei does that really well. And there was another isekai anime that like hardly anyone watched or like talked about or anything like that, where they did that as well. And I think it was more so like they didn't die and got isekai. They just automatically got isekai the same way that like my status, they all got isekai to this new world. It was that type of thing. Oh, that's for Tim. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, I got you. I got you. Um, so yeah, I forget the name of the other one. It came out, I want to say the fall of 2024. It was one of those like, average isekai slop things. So yeah, which had I keep forgetting about Elusive Samurai season 2. That's also coming in the spring or summer. And I know Forbes is really hyped for that. Uh Not sure what he's doing at the moment. I kind of wish he was in here to talk about it, but yeah, Elusive Samurai season 2. I love season 1. I think Cloverworks did an amazing job with it, and I'm just excited to see more. I feel like there's a lot that the story can go into, and so I'm excited to see like what's gonna happen in the second season. Um, so, so many times I talked about Bleach in its final core coming up, talked about Black Clover season two, with the Spade Kingdom arc and stuff like that. So like those are other ones I'm really really excited for. Um, we haven't checked the poll in a couple minutes. Let me check the poll here. So the poll is a three-way tie at the moment. Spy Family, Common Rider, and Wild Ass Boss of Beard. Okay. I'm surprised MHA is the lowest, to be honest with you guys. I thought that might be number one, but huh. I take it, maybe if you didn't vote for it in here, did you not like the ending? Are you in the group that didn't like the ending of MHA? Because that's like one thing that was a big debate or whatever. A lot of people had, it was like, they hated the ending, particularly manga readers. They hated the ending. So maybe that's why. But for me personally, I enjoyed the ending. I'm very curious to see the OVA. I know that we get like another, because there was technically a time skip here with 8 years. I know we get another time skip in the OVA because it's like the epilogue of the story. Um, and don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure that we're getting Deku and Ochaku as a couple, which is something I've been wanting to see like the whole time. Like the whole time we've had this story happening the past 10 years. That is like one of the things I've been wanting to see is the two of them together. So I think we get that in the epilogue. I would feel like we would get like a bunch of them, a bunch of couples. I feel like Shoto and Momo, Yaozaru, however you say your last name. I feel like the two of them would probably be a couple. Um, some of the other ones I feel like because like it's romance is not one of the things that MHA focuses on. So I feel like it's for some of them it's kind of hard to tell who might end up with who. I'm sorry I stopped tapping in the chat. I'm playing Overwatch while doing this. I'm ADHD, won't let me do just one thing at a time. Yeah, you're fine. I just appreciate you being here. To be honest, listening to me chat it up about random animes and stuff. Um, but yeah, like I was saying with MHA, like the relationships are kind of just like, you know, for the most part, you could just figure them out and put them together. Like, or it might not necessarily even need to be something that's forced. Like same thing with One Piece. The relationships, everyone's just friends. Like there's no like romance involved really. Can't get buns when you want to be a hero, man. Ask Endeavor. Bro, it should have been Ida and Todoroki should have been Endgame, man. Hardcore shippers are kind of annoying. I agree. Again, I've said this multiple times. Maybe some people in here aren't aware of this story, but there was a story of this girl who went to a convention, and Deku's voice actor was there, and she literally asked him, "What do you think of the shipping of Deku and Eri?" And everyone was like booing her, obviously, because why would you ask that? And he was like, I don't feel comfortable answering that. Like, can we just talk about, okay, you're trolling? Okay. But yeah, basically, he was like, why can't we just talk about the story? Like, why do you have to bring this up? And that's something I've always said about people that always, will be like, oh, the fan base is weird, so I don't like it. It's like, bro, the fan base is a completely different thing from the story. If you can separate the two, which should be pretty easy to do, uh, then you're not going to be affected by it. You're not going to let it bother you because it has nothing to do with the story. So, like, people that are just, yeah, exactly. Like, Aries, like, six, bro. So, like, people doing that, like, makes no freaking sense. And it's weird. And especially if you go out, if you go out in public on an open mic and you ask the voice actor a question like that, bro, like no one's gonna look at you the same ever again in your entire life. Because like, why would you ask that? It's just so weird. I do remember Reese, you were telling me, because you draw, like you're into art and stuff. I do remember you telling me that like on some of the, art. What I'm not sure exact. I don't remember what websites you told me, but that you've seen some stuff. you know? And so, like, that just being out there in the world is just weird. Well, there's always gonna be weird people in any fan base. Yeah, I do agree with that, but that's what I'm saying, like, people need to, you know, dif differentiate the 2. Like, if you if you just say, like, "Oh, I can't watch this because the fans put these 2 people together as a couple," then I'm sorry, but, like, you're lame. Like, how can you not see the difference? Like, how can you not tell, like, "Oh, that's someone's, like, own fan fiction and has nothing to do with the actual plot." I hate it when people don't watch something because the fandom, like, you can't avoid it or something. Exactly. It's so easy to just ignore the fan base. Like, just because people are like that doesn't mean you have to let it dictate whether or not you watch it or not. Like, I know some people, they'll say, like, the One Piece fan base is toxic, so they won't watch One Piece. It's like, again, the fan base has nothing to do with the actual story of One Piece. Uh, Pinterest. Oh, that's where you saw it. Okay. Mm, yeah. Which is like, you think they would have, um, what do you call it when, like, you don't allow certain content on your, app or your website or whatever? You think they would have that, somebody to, like, look at it and be like, "Yeah, this cannot be on here." What One Piece fandom is chill for all I know? Nah, no, no, the One Piece fandom. Yeah, like, I guess block is the right word to basically block the content. We are toxic. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The One Piece fandom is very toxic because a lot of them, if you don't agree with their take on One Piece, they will get mad at you. I won't say his name, but there is another person. Uh, Basically, we had a talk in, like, in the DMs or whatever, and I didn't agree with something about One Piece, and he just, like, went off on me and was calling me names and a bunch of stuff. That to me is just like, I want nothing to do with you. If you're gonna act like that, bro, like, you're a grown adult getting mad because I don't think the same way you think or something. But yeah, so yeah, I know you're chill, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not. So whenever I say, I don't know how other people look at it when they say it, but, like, when I say fan base, I'm just talking about um the majority of the fan base. Like, I'm not talking about every single person that's in the fan base. Oh, I hate when people just call names for hating. Yeah, yeah, it was a giant thing. It's like, I just ignored them because I'm like, I'm not gonna argue with somebody on the internet. Like, I'm just gonna go about my day. Like, but yeah. So, like, I don't necessarily generalize the fan base. I don't group everybody together. I just all of a sudden am like, yeah, like, these people that think that way are not someone I want to associate myself with. Well, damn, Luffy wouldn't like them acting like that. Yeah, like, bro, Luffy is such a kind and caring and giving character that, like, if he, it would be like, bro, it would be like, um, the scene of Sabaody with the Celestial Dragon. Like, if he saw people acting like that, he would just punch him in the face, bro. I know you're not talking about me, but yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you knew. Yeah. So, but yeah. So, like, if people act like that, it would be like Luffy with the Celestial Dragon just, like, knocking their lights out. Cause, like, there's no reason to act like that. They would not pass the Straw Hat Crew vibe check. Exactly. Like, they claim they love it so much and all this different stuff, but then they don't uh live by it, if that makes sense. Like, they don't abide by how the characters act. They just, think their own way is the right way, which I can't stand. Especially when you go out of your way to be rude or disrespectful to people. It's like, why can't you just be nice? Like, yeah, maybe that we don't agree with each other, but you don't have to be mean to me. You don't have to be a dick, you know. But that's just me kind of ranting there. I don't mean to rant to you guys. Um, Speaking of One Piece, we haven't really talked about this. Speaking of One Piece, how excited are you guys for the Elbaf arc in the spring? And also, what is your opinion on it going seasonal? I personally actually really like that it's going seasonal. I love One Piece, but sometimes I feel like I get too overwhelmed because it's so many episodes, and I also don't want to take a break from it because I don't want to get spoiled. So I watch it every week. You like the characters for who they are, so try your best to be like them. Exactly. Like, That's one thing I love about anime is, like, it actually does inspire and, like, teach you things, and you can be like the characters, the good ones. So, that's something I actually really, really, really love about anime. Um, but yeah, back to One Piece, like, the seasonal stuff. I like how they're doing that. I like how they're breaking it up into, 52 episodes a year or, yeah, it is 52, right? Because it's 20. Am I doing the math right? Because I know they're doing 26. It's 26 a year. Yeah, yeah, it's 26 a year. They're doing 13, take a break, 13. Okay, that's what it is. Exactly, I try to learn from them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, you can learn so much from anime. I've actually had arguments with people who said who claim to be anime fans, and they say that, like, anime doesn't teach anything, or they say that if you live your life the way anime characters do, then you have no life or something like that. Like, I've had arguments with people, and it's like, who are you to judge me for seeing something inspirational and then trying to live like that? Like, I think that is shows honest character to try to change, maybe if you're not necessarily living life the way you want to, and then you witness something like that, you try to change for the better. And some people just automatically are just like party poopers and try to like take their negativity and throw it on you. It's like, you just stay over there, like, leave me alone over here. Cause like, I don't know, it's just like you can learn so much, and that's something I appreciate. But, so, okay, another question for Reese. Oh, hold on. I'm not happy because of seasonal. We've been doing this 26 years straight now. We taking super breaks all of a sudden. I understand Oda and the health scares, but now we in the thick of it. Yeah, so like I said, I do like it, but I'm not 100% for it. I do also feel like, it's gonna suck not having as many episodes come out as one at one time. Uh, Another reason, and I don't know if this is 100% true or not, but somebody was saying that because of Dragon Ball, they're gonna focus on that more. Cause like, so Tim, he was telling me that they settled the whole thing with Shueisha and Toei like months ago. So I'm like, for one, I'm like, let's freaking go. And two, like I was saying, I think that's another reason why they're taking core breaks between One Piece, is because they can focus on Dragon Ball coming back, which I am super excited about. I love that a lot. Um, I hope we get a movie to tie Daima and Super. I hope we get Super 2 being animated. I feel like that's the number one thing Dragon Ball fans want um is for like the Moro arc and all those to get animated. Also apparently they were mentioning like video games. One of the things I really want to see in a Dragon Ball video game come back is Dragon World because that's my favorite game mode of all time. So like I want to see that come back. Um so yeah, like if that is the reason why, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it's a valid reason because the animation that Toei produces is some of the best animation out of any studio. And the fact that they were doing it weekly is insane. So like if we're able to, get that with two animes, I think that'd be great. Cause like I don't know what else they really work on other than One Piece. I mean, I'm sure there's other things, but like I know that like One Piece was like the thing they were focusing on and like putting all their attention into. Yeah, but they making DBZ remake also because they don't own the art. Just grave Rob Toyotaro and give them rights back. Really? Okay, I haven't seen anything about that. A DBZ remake? Hmm. I thought I had seen something about maybe a Dragon Ball Super remake, and then they would change it. I guess to fit into the story after Daima. I guess that's how they would do it. But I didn't know they were, like you're saying, to remake DBZ. I did not realize that. Hmm. I like because they already have Dragon Ball Z Kai. I don't think we need another remake. And obviously, the art style of Super was very sloppy at some times. So like, it would make sense if they remade that. Also, because the manga came out after the anime, so like if they were to change it and make it more one to one with the manga, I think that would also make sense. So Super, in my opinion, should be remade long before Z, because Z was already, you know, not necessarily remade, but they cut out a lot of stuff. They, updated the voice acting, stuff like that. They cut out filler and small things that didn't necessarily need to be in the story. So it's like easier to follow along with. Okay, yeah, super. Okay. I mean, isn't that in the Z line or the super fighters? Nah. No, the Z fighters. I, I can't tell if you're being serious or not, but but yeah, they're the Z fighters. I feel like you're trolling. I feel like you're definitely trolling, Rook. So yeah, so we talk about One Piece. Man, we covered a lot already. Um, all our favorite voice actors are going down. Yeah, I mean, there's still a good amount, but I do agree with so Luffy's voice actor. She told them with the One Piece remake, which we have no clue when that's even coming out. But they told them to find a new voice actor, which is kind of sad, but at the same time, I agree with it. Makes perfect sense to me because the remake is uh starting from the beginning. So like we don't it's probably not a good idea to have her, be the voice in that. I think her being the voice in uh the ongoing One Piece right now should kind of be, it because she was like 70, right? I think she's somewhere around that age. But I also know Goku's voice actor is still going. Like she was just in Daima and she's like 88 or 89, somewhere around there. Like she's getting like pretty old. And I forget, I think it was Luffy's voice actor that she said that she wanted to voice act until she was like 140 something, which I don't even know if nowadays is like possible for someone to live that long. I honestly don't know. Um, but that would be very interesting, you know. I don't think she would be able to keep voice acting at an age like that. But I don't know. I don't know anything about stuff like that, so I'm just guessing here. But yeah, so I think that pretty much. I don't know what else to talk about for the 2026 that I haven't already said because I've talked about so many of them and I've already said so many different things. So I don't know what else to say to be honest. If you guys have anything else to add about this year, uh, let me know because I might end the live here in a couple minutes. Which I really appreciate you guys showing up and talking in the chat. Like I'm trying to get more used to and more comfortable with doing lives. Because sometimes if before I go live, I might get a little nervous or something because I'm like I don't know how well this is gonna go. But honestly, the lives have been going pretty well. Like, they've been doing pretty good. So I really love and appreciate you guys and coming in here and talking with me about anime. So and she's gonna be 70 when it comes around. She won't have no sting for that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a new voice actor makes sense. We don't need her to be the voice actor for the remake. Like, oh, thank you, Reese. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. I don't think I really had anything else to add to that. Um, again, kind of a message that I always say at the end of each live for people that missed it. If you didn't watch it live, if you could subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below anything from this live. Um, you got your faithfuls that show up. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. That means a lot to me, for real. Because I know, like, you might be busy doing something else, but then you just see it pop up that I went live or something and you join me. So I really appreciate that. Um, oh, well, actually, we just got another vote for Common Rider. That might be Silva, maybe. I know Silva loved Common Rider. That's the thing. I don't know who's in here unless they type in the chat because it doesn't tell me who's in here. Um, but Silva, if you're in here or whoever joined, we got another vote for Common Rider. So that's actually takes the lead if we leave it off at that because, like I said, probably gonna end it up here soon. Um, so yeah, again, another message. Uh, I'm hoping every Tuesday to go live, talk about the animes from the past week, kind of review them, go over them. Maybe I don't know if I might do like a ranking sort of thing, like put them in order, or I might just you know talk about them. But hopefully, I can make that a regular thing, and hopefully, you guys can join me for that every Tuesday. Or if not, you can check it out here on the channel. But yeah, I am gonna wrap things up. So again, I appreciate you guys being here, and I'll catch you guys in the next live.